But God is not there anymore. Well, let me just inform you that God is there. He's been there, he's still there. The ones that are not there are us. We left. We left the neighborhoods. We left the communities. We left them high and dry. But God is waiting for us there to come back. That reminds me of a story. This guy, Michael Costa, he was in the 19th century, he was a big, oh, there's my slide, get out of here. I couldn't have done it for you. That's right, you changed the keys, the locks. But anyway, we're across Mason Street, this is appropriate. So anyway, as we left the neighborhoods, and we left them high and dry, and I was saying this story came to mind about this guy, Michael Costa, who was a great orchestra conductor back in the 19th century. And he was conducting the orchestra one day. They had all this big, magnificent choir, and the orchestra was together, and they were playing and going through, and all of a sudden this guy with a piccolo stopped playing. A little old piccolo. So it kept going. He's conducting, doing all that stuff, and all of a sudden he said, "Stop!" The piccolo is not playing. Now all these monstrous sounds, he noticed this little instrument, the piccolo, is not playing. So he stops everything. So what's the parallel there? Sometimes we feel like the piccolo is playing. We're going with our ministries, and when we stop, we think people don't notice. But guess what happened in those neighborhoods? They noticed that you stopped. They noticed that each one of us stopped caring, that we left them high and dry. And now we have the problems that manifest. We talk about, sir. Oh. So now all of a sudden, we as Christians have decided we're going back in these communities and try to empower people and get rid of this thing called poverty. Because as we look at it, poverty is the root. Poverty starts with lots of things to happen. A lot of snowballing actions start taking place. And then we look at something. I'm going through this fast, ladies and gentlemen. Keep up with me, please. And then we see, and we examine ourselves in the process, and we look at it and say, and we start talking about things, and even in the passive discussion, we look at what we're not doing. We stop reaching out to people in need. We stop speaking out for fairness and social justice. And that's a big one around this country. Very big one. I was out in Denver several weeks ago. That is a huge issue. The churches have abdicated that responsibility, and the communities are feeling it, and they're feeling it in a mighty way across the country. And compassion, we've stopped with that whole piece of compassion and doing the innovative things to rebuild communities. Now, one of the things that happened that Chuck just talked about, and with some good news that came across today, I got a call from the Newport News Police Department. That movie we showed, Racial Taboo, and all came together and talked. But the Newport News Police Department wants to make it part of their training program. Amen. And then the director of the film said, "Charles, if you get all the pastors together, as many as possible, I'll send you the film for nothing." So there's some good things happening. There's some other things I can speak about, but don't want to put them out there yet to the dotted line this time. But this whole process of going back in the community and showing folks that you care is starting to reinvigorate itself. We didn't know where it was going at first. We had no idea. But we knew one thing. We had to start engaging people and start engaging the community. And the churches need to take this first step. Because the churches are what? Uniquely qualified to do everything that we're talking about. Uniquely qualified. Where else do you have the pool of talent that you do in the church? Where else do you have it? You can't go to City Hall and ask for it. Because you're going to have to do what? Beg, plead, and walk out with your head down because you didn't get it. But you can go to the church. Each of us, if we come together. I heard somebody say today about the mission field being abroad, but bring it home. Let's start combining and bring it home together. If we take all of our resources and put them together, just think of the impact we can make. We're not just talking about money, we're talking about talent. Right. We're talking about the different things that each one of us is uniquely qualified to do. All we have to do is just talk to one another and communicate and not be afraid. Somebody said something about the pastors. And, you know, the pastor is just what the pastor is. And I'm going to tell a joke. Thanks for the one. I won't tell a joke. Go to the next slide. I won't tell a joke. I won't tell a joke. So anyway, looking at this slide with Nelson Mandela about vision. And that's what's lacking. A solid vision to go forward. And then put a plan behind it. And some action. And go forward with it. We're stuck somewhere. You know, it's just like when I read Jeremiah 29, when the folks went into captivity and the man said, hey y'all, settle down, get used to this, start praying, pray for the peace of the city, and you'll be at peace too, and things will start turning around. God knows what he's doing. But we get excited. Man, people start shooting, you know, shot here and there, and folks start getting hungry and start breaking in places, start robbing places, and oh Lord, let's get away from here. Lord, I don't want to go down there. So I heard somebody say one time, I ain't never drove in that part of the city, and I've been living in Newport News 70 years. Well, that's a statement to be made. It's a statement to be made. So we have to, again, look at where we are and what we need to do in order to reinvigorate our churches and our communities. Dr. John M. Perkins said, our communities and neighborhoods are broken because our families are broken. I like what Pastor Barbara said yesterday, that we have to start fighting for each other, fighting for the families. He said, if we fix our families, automatically fix our neighborhoods. And that's a fact. That's a fact. So in order to do that, we first have to start with the church. We first have to look at, all of us are in the same condition, in the same predicament. I like the fact when the Chinese proverb that says, we need to go to the people, live amongst them, learn from them, start with what they know, build on what they have. But of the best leaders, when their task is done, the people will remark, we have done it ourselves. Empower them. Empower them. You know, Jesus came down the first time, he went to where? The hood? He went and hang out with the boys in the hood. And he grew up with the boys in the hood. And then I could see him when he came off the cross, and as Pastor said last night, that stone rolled away when the angels came down, all had their heavenly glory. And he is sitting back up, and he probably got somewhere in between, saying, hold it, Dad. I need to go back. I need to take care of a little business first. I need to let them know it's real. I need to let them know it's about community. Because where in my Father's house, there are many mansions. It's community. Community started in Genesis, and community starts and continues today. We've got to take the cross to the street. No ifs, ands, and buts. You see, Chuck took it all, but I just took a little bit and put it out there to you.